You know, guys, there's a big problem going on around here. Like, the problem's so big that we're gonna have to do something about it. Problem's so big, I don't think we got a drink big enough to quench my thirst to deal with it. We got one too many vehicles sitting around the property taking up too much room. So we gotta take 2 vehicles and make them one. And as always, I'm Zach and you're on the Tukes and Tires YouTube channel. Hey Dad, I think we're gonna need a bigger funnel. I don't think this one's gonna cut it.
Hey, is that Timmy's?
Yeah, because we're in Canada. Okay guys, so you might be wondering what's going on here. So you would have saw that we picked up the panel truck a few months ago, and you know, we're getting closer to winter and I kind of don't want 2 vehicles sitting around, you know, deal with snow and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna combine them together and make them one. So how are we gonna do that? So basically, like you saw in that video, and I explained that we bought this old farm truck for like 400 bucks, and the whole point of this build is to do it on a budget as cheap as possible, so just like you guys at home can do it just like me. So basically what we want from this truck is the whole drivetrain, so frame, all that. And we're gonna basically be setting that body onto this frame. So in this video, we're actually going to disassemble this. I'm gonna show you guys how I do it, how I yank the harness out, and basically get this truck, like all the sheet metal, ready for scrap. So we're gonna get this thing around to the front of the barn and basically start disassembling it and getting the frame ready to shorten it down because it's like 2 feet too long. So let's get it around and let's get cutting. So we got the truck around to the front of the shop. So basically what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start from the rear because, you know, it's just the kind of guy I am. But we're gonna get the box off. Basically just because it's, you know, something that could be unbolted. Then we're gonna probably move to the front end and unbolt it, and then we're gonna jump into disassembling some of the wiring, because basically I still want this truck to drive around and think that it's this truck for now, because I don't know if I'm gonna go with an aftermarket harness or whatnot with the panel truck. So, you know, you're gonna want to be able to move that thing around. But we're gonna start by getting the box off and then move on to all the other bits. Look at this fine rig that I'm going to destroy. Oh well, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so we got the box fully unbolted, so I should be able to just give her a yank so it's not on there. I got the gas cap thing out of there, filler neck. I got the lights disconnected, all the wiring's just dangling in the back. Got some ratchet straps on here now. So Dad's gonna bring over the tractor. We're gonna hook a chain on this thing and we're gonna see if it lifts off and see what else we rip off underneath, because I didn't feel like getting dirt in the eye. Go up. Up. Yep. Got that box off. That worked pretty slick, you know, wasn't too hard. There was luckily nothing underneath that I had to like cut off with some, you know, friggin' cutters I had in my pocket just in case, you know, last minute kind of things. But this isn't looking too bad. The frame's in pretty good shape. There's only one cross rail that's rotted, but we're not going to be using that anyways. Probably going to take that out because obviously, like I said, we're going to have to shorten this down. But you know, we're going to get this box out of the way. Friggin' Lacey's got a new scratch pad here, and I think we're going to start gutting the front end. So let's get this junk out of the way. Look, you got a jungle gym to climb on. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. Well, we're going to get that out of the way, and we're going to tackle some more stuff. So we did pretty good tonight, guys. We got that whole front end off. We just got the battery bungee strapped in there, and I tied up the original fuse box just so we can still drive it around. But now, since we got it at this stage, because with the other truck, we're still going to use this whole rad setup for now, because I mean, it's easy, but things like we got to disconnect the booster and the steering linkage, and then some of the AC stuff. And then for the wiring, what we're going to get into is, because I want to kind of leave this hole, and what I've usually done in the past is right here I just cut like a 2-inch channel, and we're basically going to take this door off and then bring the wiring out through. So all the dash stuff is going to come this way out the door opening, you could say, and that way we can still use the column in the other truck for now, and it'll still start just like this truck would have, but just in a different vehicle. So I'm going to start chopping that out, and we're going to take the dash out of this thing so I can get all the wiring out. And yeah, but I think that's enough for tonight. We're going to come back at this tomorrow, and then hopefully we can get this cab off of here. So let's get to her. Okay guys, well, we mutilated the dash out of there. It's looking, you know, you could use that. But so we got the whole harness kind of laying out where we need it. There was kind of this little box thing underneath the seat, so if you're doing something like this, it kind of just runs along the sill under there. I was able just to snake it out once I unplugged it and stuff. But now what the trick is because I want to keep this all intact to make the panel truck think it's this truck. So what we have to do now, because obviously we got everything disconnected other than this wiring, so we're going to take this door off, and you can kind of see there's a huge hole there already. And I'm undecided, to be honest with you. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna rip this plastic off, and I might make like a humongous hole right here. Because before, what I've done is I usually cut this here, cut the pillar and sneak it out the pillar. But on this truck, I think I can rip most of this stuff out of there. You know, let's just mutilate it here in a second. Well, it's gonna go. Look at that beauty. Basically brand new. Oh yeah, we're really giving her now. All right, well, it's gonna come out of there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a hole basically big enough just to snake. There's this fuse box and this other fuse box out of there. So I only need like a, you know, one of these mitts in there. So, but we're gonna cut that out, swing that out to the outside so you can see I got my brake booster disconnected and stuff like that. And then we just got some coolant lines to disconnect, and then we'll be lifting this body off. Lacey, you digging your scratch pad? Yeah? But it's actually funny on this truck, all the body mounts except for one has a plate on the bottom of it. So, or I should say other way around, only one of them has the plate. So all I gotta do is unbolt one body mount, and then the body should lift off. Remember to disconnect your transmission stuff, because I almost forgot about that. But we're gonna start making a hole, get that wiring out, and then we're gonna see if this body will lift off. So you can see we got a gaping hole there, and now we got all this wiring out of the truck. And I actually thought I'd show you guys that it's still gonna run. We had it running, so we disconnected the body module, and now it's learned to run without it. Obviously, it's just gonna have the security light on. We had something, it didn't want to start before, so we just hooked up everything, and it seemed to, you know, want to run. So now I can take my key here. Let's see here. Should be here, the fuel pump. And then fires up. Look at that, it's running. You could drive it, but obviously we're not gonna. But that should work in the panel truck. So now we're gonna yank this body off. Just go. You're good there. That was a little sketchy. I mean, it worked. Okay guys, so we got that body off the frame, and me and Dad started doing some measuring, and I'm not sure if it's actually gonna work. The rear end is like 2 inches too big for the body, and the front end is like 1 inch, because we took some measurements off of Dad's truck on the front end. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to wrap my brain around this one. Offset wheels aren't really a thing unless I go with like possibly like 20s, so I can clear the brakes and I can do an offset wheel all the way to the inside, so there'll be no dish. I don't know, I'm just still trying to wrap my head around it, see what my options are. But for now, you know, I got to think about it. So I'll do some thinking and then we're going to come back to it. Okay guys, I've thought about it. We got a new game plan going on. We're not going to scrap everything off of this idea. So basically, we're going to take the wiring off. We're going to take the motor and transmission out of this thing. Maybe we might rob the rad out of there, and a whole exhaust system. But other than that, we're not going to use this frame. I've come to the conclusion it's too wide. We're not going to make it be able to work, but I'm going to show you guys here in a second. So we're going to get this motor out of here and the wiring and stuff like that, and then I'll show you guys what the new game plan is. It's not a total loss, so let's get yanking this stuff out so we can actually have a power plant for that beast over there. So we got the motor out now, and we threw the truck actually all back together. It's kind of a bummer that the frame didn't work out for the panel truck, but I mean, that is what it is. When I bought this truck, my full intent was actually just to use the motor out of it, but you know, that's what we ended up doing, and now I'm gonna make some money off of scrap. So now we're gonna set up everything over here, what we're going to be using to make this frame happen, and hopefully get it mocked up together so that you can see what the game plan is. Okay, so this is the new game plan, and shout out to Jay over at Commonwealth. Go give him a follow on Instagram. I'll leave it down in the description down below. He's the man. So he's always, you know, doing trucks and stuff, and he's chopping them apart, and he let me raid his scrap bin. So this is actually off of a 55 or 57. It's a rear half. And what we're going to be using for the front half, which I was saving for another project, but we're going to just use it on this, is this S10 front clip. So we're going to have to do some modifications to this to make it go on to that. But we're going to get a little more situated here and possibly start cutting that up to get it to match up. And then we'll come back to once we got her all figured out. But I think it's going to work. Okay guys, so we got this in the shop so you can see kind of what we got going on here. Obviously, you know, it still needs to be extended, and we're not going to be keeping most of this S10 frame here. We just got it in here, obviously, so you can see kind of what it looks like. There's some stuff we got to do to the back to get it kind of tidied up, but for now, everything's going to work there. But you're going to have to stick around for the next episode where we're actually going to extend this frame, get this S10 frame cut down and widened, so that it will match for that 55 to 59 truck. But thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. You guys are the best. But remember, when life gives you lemons, you just make more lemons or something like that. But we'll catch you next time, and don't forget to salute the beaver.